How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Monday, July 8th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moon Base. Hope you guys are doing great and had a great weekend. Happy Monday. Good to be here with all of you. And this moon is still in Leo, and now this Mars is getting closer to Uranus, and the moon in Leo today is squaring Uranus, and Uranus comes to 26 degrees, finally, which for the first time, which is where Mars and Uranus are going to have their conjunction. So, when this moon and Mars square today, I definitely think there could be a lot of emotional tension on the surface, no doubt. I think a lot of emotional tension that was underneath the surface could surface today. So now that Uranus is at 26 degrees, where Mars and Uranus are going to meet, we're going to start to see what this Mars-Uranus is going to look like. We're going to start to see more unexpected, weird things occur. I'm definitely seeing some very unconventional shifts occurring in the vicinity around me in my personal life, and some very strange scenarios, foreign alien-like scenarios, and that can mean many things. Won't get into details, but here we are, like Venus sextiling Uranus today too. So I think creatively, financially, and even in our love life, and even in our partnerships and our family, and I feel like new things can arise in the area of our security and our physical reality, and definitely how things are changing in that area. I think some exciting, unexpected, kind of supportive energy comes through, almost at the last minute, almost like some kind of unexpected or unseen safety net, where right at the last moment where you needed something or some favor somewhere, somehow, it's just like right at that moment there can be some very cool, exciting things that could show up. And I think as well, with this moon square Mars, with Venus sextile Uranus kind of happening at the same time, I think there definitely is some tension. And I definitely think with, where people kind of get stuck in their beliefs and get stuck in their ways and get stuck in their ego, with Mars and the moon and fixed signs squaring each other, it definitely is about, whose way is the best way, or who's got the best idea. I think there can be some clashing on which direction to take. And I definitely think ego could get involved big time, And we just came off this Venus square Chiron too over the weekend, which brought up a lot of sensitive issues. And I definitely think too, there's still a lot of sensitivity that's coming to the surface as we move into this week with this moon square Uranus. But this is kind of where we can at least come to an understanding of who we are in whatever the conflict or whatever the situation is. At least we can know what side of the fence we're on truly, and it's not just some underlying issue. Because the fixed signs are very much on the surface, very much external, more extroverted. Let's bring it to the surface. Venus and Cancer being much more internal. It's just squared Chiron also kind of broke us out of this protective layer so we can finally see within, at least getting a more intuitive understanding of those deeper wounds and those deeper issues. Not necessarily, you know, like a logical kind of analytical perspective. Like now we can kind of understand where the wounds and where the healing needs to take place more on an instinctual level, on an intuitive level. And I really am starting to feel Saturn and Neptune retrograding big time. It's almost like time is. I swear to God, I've been working so much lately, and I literally thought it was like 8 o'clock at night at one point, and it was like 1 in the afternoon, and like it's like deja vu when it hits you. It's like that feeling was real. Only obviously you can't really prove that to another individual, but there's this moment where I completely lost my sense of time in reality. It was very strange. I've never really felt that, but I think that was like a moment where it's like, damn, like really starting to feel Saturn in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces going, we haven't even really moved a minute yet. So with these retrogrades, and I'm definitely starting to feel that coming back to reality kind of moment, because that's what it is anyway with Saturn. It is like finally awakening to a more clearer horizon line, where we can look out and actually see some clarity in the distance, even through all the fog, because it's like when Neptune retrogrades, because you think of Neptune as this, more high frequency, spiritual, ethereal, non-physical frequency, right? So when Neptune's direct, it's like we can really access that. We're really vibrating on that frequency. But when it goes retrograde, it is like looking out into the horizon in the distance, and the clouds and the fog start to clear, and you can kind of see further. That's how I feel with this Neptune and Saturn being in the same sign together. That's how I feel about these retrogrades. Is like it's real awakening to where you lose touch with reality, where you kind of lose sense of time, where you lose your grounding. This Mars-Uranus conjunction, as much as Mars, being in an earth sign, being in a very physical place, Mars is a very physical sign. There could be some very radical changes that are going to happen over these next few weeks that are going to occur. And it can really be inspiring and innovative and really insane and intense and totally unexpected and definitely going to rock the world too. But, along with that, with these retrogrades, with Saturn and Neptune, it is kind of this Mars-Uranus kind of giving us this shockwave where it's like this massive awakening to like, oh shit, like, we probably should take this a little bit more serious, or maybe we should just stop, doom scrolling online, or maybe we should stop posting about it online and actually go out in the world and do something. It's like when the non-physical and the physical meet in Saturn and Pisces, when it goes retrograde, it's like, well, this is when we come back into the physical. Top that off with Neptune, it's like really calling us to really remember where our feet are at. Because I think we've been moving ahead so quickly all of 2024, and now that we have 3 outer planets retrograde, we came into this year for the first 4 months full blast. Sometimes you move so quickly, You don't really realize how much you're acquiring or how much mass, that you're acquiring from what you're doing and what you're putting in. And I mean mass, like energetic mass, not like physical, like more energetic, right? From what you're putting out. So now we're starting to really realize, like, damn, like there was a lot more that came along with what we just went through than we may have realized. And now with Saturn retrograde and Neptune, we have to sort through that. And with Mars, Uranus conjunction, and the moon today, which can definitely trigger some emotional conflict, which can ultimately lead to a healing solution with Venus sextile Uranus. You just have to be willing to do something different, or when things do get intense and there are conflicts and emotions get high and egos clash, if you're willing to move in that Venus and Cancer direction and be more fluid and understanding and compassionate and not be so fixed and rooted with this moon in Leo. This moon in Leo is going to have a hard time today. So, at least Mars has Uranus to help it kind of, flip the script when it needs to. This moon's kind of fixed, rooted emotions, and especially with Mercury as well. And of course, the sun being in Cancer, the ruling sign of the moon, and of course in the moon and in the ruling sign of the sun. So the sun is where the moon is, which is where, it would rather be. The sun would rather be where the moon is at, and the moon would rather be where the sun is. So it's kind of this kind of conflicting day, But I think too, with this Venus Uranus kind of helping each other, we can definitely find some interesting solutions and, maybe connect with some very interesting people too. Interesting conversations can pop up. And I think, finding any solutions to any Venus associated issues, I think this Uranus kind of supporting Venus with Mars, of course, can really help you take action in different ways, as long as you're willing to find a different way and go with the flow and be fluid and also not be so rooted and fixed in those emotions with this moon in Leo and Mercury in Leo too. Sometimes you just have to take a deep breath. Forgot to breathe. I'm doing this kind of late, so I've been working all damn day. Well, this afternoon. I was home all day yesterday and this morning. Finally. For a little bit. Not even 24 hours. Which kind of sucks. But it's all good. I'm glad to be here. We got the 4 cups. So, with this Venus Uranus, there can be a gift that shows up out of nowhere. Mars is now at 21 degrees, where the Jupiter Uranus conjunction happened. So, Mars is activating that Jupiter Uranus energy that we just went through. That was a big deal. And, these outer transits, are much more bigger parts of our lives. They're more, the larger scheme of our soul's journey here. So Mars is now actually physically putting that into action, and things may show up out of the blue. Even when things get a little intense and get, emotional, and emotions can get over the top. Today with this moon, Mars square, definitely aggression and intensity and ego, Even when shit happens, good shit also happens. And we have to remember that. And with Mercury and Leo too, and the moon just wants to have fun, Mars knows that it's going through one of the most craziest radical shifts that we've seen since 1942. If you want to look at it that way. So this moon doesn't quite understand where Mars is at right now. The moon in Leo and Mercury in Leo is just like, come on, man, just fucking chill, just relax, like, step outside. And Mars Uranus is just like, you don't understand, you don't get it. Like, I'm on to some shit that the world has no idea about, kind of like that Terrence Howard interview. He's like, I'm on to something that no one even knows about. That dude was born with Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in his chart. So that's the energy, that's the vibe. And Mars is just like, he's like, I'm doing some very important, crazy shit, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know how it's going to be, but it's going to be important, and it's going to be impactful, and it's going to be revolutionary and shocking. And this moon's like, yeah, whatever, man. I'll see you later. Take it easy. Anyway, hope you all have a good day, and I will see you all for Tuesday. Peace out.